Hey guys, Desolator Magic here with what is the final day of spoilers. Finally. But we know from what Mark said that there's going to be another poison using creature. And once again, I haven't looked at these ahead of time, but I'm already absolutely sick to my ass over the ridiculousness of this trash set. I have many stores, many online blogs, many people named MTG Lion, all saying the same thing. All the whales, all the big buyers, all the miniature single sellers, they are all canceling or downscaling their orders of Kaldheim, and they're all citing the same reason: the pushed power level and the complete and utter destruction of the standard format, and the lack of anybody interested in standard. And it has nothing to do with COVID, or nearly nothing. So if you don't agree with me, look what the rich people who put, $100,000 on the line are doing, because they take this game a little more seriously and pay closer attention than some amateur rando. And by the way, I'm not touching it either. So first up, we've got Resplendent Marshall. It's a 3/3 for 3 Angel Warrior flying, and when it enters the battlefield or dies, you may exile another creature card from your graveyard. When you do, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control other than Resplendent Marshall that shares a creature type with the exiled card. So in other words, Angel Tribal. At least I didn't make it a cleric, so ETB and death. It says or, but it's really and. I mean, they mean either one would trigger it. So pretty insanely powerful. Remember, you can clone this thing to hell and back. It's not legendary. We're gonna have a problem here. Hey, you want a little bonus spoiler? We're gonna have a lot of problems when this set comes out. First and foremost, they're gonna set a ban record. I absolutely assure you of that. So anyway, next up, I didn't even realize this was the next one. Are you ready for this one, kids? Aye, aye, Captain! I can't hear you over the noise of my own personal party, a party in which Kaldheim doesn't exist. It's Orvar the band. Oh, whoops, I read that wrong. It says the All-Form, which is Norwegian for the band. He's a 4-cost 3/3 legendary creature shapeshifter. He has changeling because of course he does. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other permanents you control, create a token that's a copy of one of those permanents. So every instant or sorcery that grants hexproof, or I don't know, there's not that many in blue. You wouldn't pin down or turn to frog your own creature. But yeah, just saver spells, direct targeted saver spells. I'm not talking about like counter spells, but just, there's probably a flickerer out there. So, there's enough. But yeah, every one of those is also quasi-duplicate. Are you kidding me? What kind of idiot thought this was a balanced card? Are you actually kidding me? So the second part is when a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard this card, create a token that's a copy of target permanent. Why did they need to stick that on there? What was the reason? Did they feel it wasn't powerful enough? Are you kidding me? By the way, that's any permanent, including a land. Why did they not say non-land? What the hell were they thinking? So this is a game-ruining disaster. Next! It's Starnheim Courser. By the way, are you feeling the metal? I made this video metal AF. It's so metal you can't even handle it right now. You don't even know what's going on. I mean, legit, you guys probably have no idea what the hell. Anyway, we've got Starnheim Courser. It's a 3-cost 2/2 Pegasus. All y'all who've seen the Pegasus, say yeah and leave a like on the video. It has artifact and enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. All right. I mean, is this worth dropping in, like, basically Dwarf Artificer Tribal because there is no tribal boost for them? I mean, there kind of is. There's open-ended tribal boosts, but they care about equipment. So it's like, you can get all your equipment and vehicles out cheaper. But then this is also enchantment. So this would be, like, huge for Constellation because we already have one that only does auras. This is enchantment. So that's a direct drop-in replacement. I mean, it's 1 more mana, but hey. But I'd rather run both. My Constellation deck is solidly tier 1.5. Very, extremely badass. You add this in and start making everything cost 1 less, including the enchantment creatures. Ooh, I will rework it to run the Pegasus. So this is like a huge card. Next up, Great Hall of Starnheim. Great Hall of Starnheim enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it for 1 black, and if you pay, just merely 2 white and 1 black, that's it. And then tap it and sack it. Hall of Starnheim, and a creature you can so sacrifice this card and a creature you control. Then create a 4/4 white Angel Warrior creature token with flying and vigilance. Activate this at sorcery speed only. I mean, if you're that badly land flooded, yeah, launch it. I mean, it's on color and it's cheap. This is one of the better ones we've seen. Next up, Valor of the Worthy. It's a 1-cost white aura, very nice. Enchant creature gets +1/+1, nice. And then whenever enchanted creature leaves the battlefield, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. That's just solid. That's like crazy good fuel for the Constellation deck. I mean, it's kind of weak, but it's still an enchantment ETB. You might be able to get a little something going off that. Next up, it's King Narfi's Betrayal, or apparently Konig Narfi's Virat, maybe. And by maybe, I mean probably not. So Thanos here, I mean, how is that not Thanos? Look at him, that's Thanos. He says, number 1, each player mills 4 cards, so that's, you know, everybody. Kind of weird. And then you may exile 1 creature or planeswalker card from each graveyard. Okay, and then 2 and 3 are until end of turn, you may cast spells from the exiled ones, and, you know, colors don't matter. So you mill a bunch of crap, exile them both, pick from the 2 piles, and cast some stuff. Yeah, that could be annoying. You still got to pay for it, but that could be annoying. It's like, what's more relevant, a card you put in your deck on purpose, or some rando card that you milled into somebody's graveyard and then exiled from somebody else's deck? I mean, if you got like 10 mana, you might get something better from theirs, I guess. I don't know. It could be interesting. I don't think too many people play this, to be honest. Next up, we've got Draugr and Berlin. Hey, they're a good band. What does this say? Antwerberin. Antwerberin. I think I'll just stay with speaking Spanglish. So this is a zombie cleric. It costs 4, and it has Boast 4. Hello. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. For 4 mana, it only goes to your hand. Why not make it like 5 or 6 and make it go to play? I'll be honest with you. That would still be free casting broken bullshit, but like 4? I mean, it should go back to your hand for like 3. You gotta pay for the damn thing again. I mean, 4 is high. I think at this power level, this is purely draft. Next up, we've got Vaegam Assombrante, which is Portuguese for the booty cruiser. I'm surprised they were able to get a pun in there, because it's like pirate booty, and then it's also the Assombrante. Fantastic. So this is a 6-cost mythic sorcery. Holy hell. And choose a creature type, return up to 2 creature cards of that type from your graveyard to the battlefield. There's your broken resurrector. I knew there was going to be one. I'm pretty sure there's always been 5 of them in the set. But if this spell was foretold, then return all creature cards of that type from the graveyard to the battlefield. That's called overload, okay? The foretell cost is 7, and it's really 9 because you got to tuck it for 2. That's not foretell. That's not I'm investing now to get a cheaper version later. It's just overload. Oh, for God's sake, they can't even implement a mechanic consistently. Like, I get it, I don't disagree with how the card works, other than the fact that it's just, here, have 2 Eldrazi, f*** you. I disagree with that, but it's like, oh, pay more, get more, okay. But I will say, this plus that card that says all of the cards in your library and in your graveyard and in your imagination or whatever the hell, they all become every type? Are you kidding me? That plus this card? Then we've got the one that says, you know, pay 5 or 10 or whatever the hell it is, 2 of every mana color, I don't remember. Slap everything with a common, or everything that's a god from your library into play. Oh, well, if everything's a changeling, then everything's a god. Oopsies! There's like 4 other instances of that stupid frickin' changeling tree being broken as hell in standard and other formats. They are absolutely going to have to ban it, but they don't ban cards from sets that just came out, so we're gonna have to suffer through some broken free casting, just cascading glass cannon bullshit for probably at least 6 months until they pull their head out of their ass and ban it. So I'm not looking forward to that, and this is just a component of it. Even by itself, even without that stupid frickin' changeling ditto tree, you could still do like an Elder Gargaroth and Yarvoth or Yorvo or whoever the hell that giant douche is. Boom, back into play. Oh, you know that Death Touch Infect guy that you finally killed? Back into play. Plus he brought a friend. Just absolutely ridiculous. They need to stop letting people resurrect stuff out of the graveyard directly into play with no limit. If they would have said 5 CMC or lower, I would have been like, okay, fine, play it, whatever. So moving on, we've got Rune of Might, which, yeah, we're missing a lot of these runes. Let's see, it's 2 cost and Aura, Rune, Enchantment, whatever. Enchant permanent, great. It goes on equipment in case you're wondering. When it enters battlefield, draw a card, because green is definitely short on card draw right now, so it's great that they did that. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +1/+1 it has trample. Okay. As long as enchanted permanent is equipment, it has equipped creature, gets +1/+1 trample. I believe I told you which one to target already. Green doesn't tend to run equipment, but I mean, you know, this is decent. This is like really decent. Next up, Rune of Speed. It's a 2 cost, you know what it is, it's a rune. So when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. I guess I'll do that. And I don't know, we only read like 1 so far. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it has +1/+0 and haste. And as long as it's equipped creature has +1/+0 and haste. That's kind of cool. I mean, if you put this on like the short sword, like the most basic vanilla whatever equipment, and you start tacking runes on it, oh yeah. You could equip that for, I believe, 1? That's pretty damn good. Next up, Rune of Mortality. You know what it is. So it's Death Touch. That's it. No boost, just Death Touch, which, you know, is enough. Put this on some equipment that grants first strike and you're going to be whooping some ass. By the way, everybody and their grandma running runes, especially Constellation players, are going to put this on Shadow Spear, and it is going to be a nightmare. Next up, Rune of Sustenance. It's the white one, and it grants lifelink. All right, finally we're out of those. Runeforge Champion. It's a 3 cost. When Runeforge Champion enters the battlefield, oh, here it is. I was wondering when we were going to see this because Mark Rosewater like verbatim copied and pasted the text into his blog like 3 weeks ago. You may search your library and or graveyard for a rune card, reveal it, put it in your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle it, you may pay 1 rather than pay the mana cost for rune spells you cast. So it's white, it's a dwarf, it thankfully doesn't cost 2 because it's pretty damn powerful, and you would put it in the red-white equipment dwarf deck, so you know, this is a damn good card. I don't know if that deck will be powerful enough to stand up against giants and rogues, though. I'm not seeing it, but I could be wrong. Next up, Mists of Littjara. It's a 2 cost aura, flash, cool, those are fun. And enchant creature or vehicle, enchanted creature gets -3, -0. I feel like they should have said enchanted permanent, but that might be against the rules. I don't know. Well, it's a perpetual like state-based effect where every time you recheck the state of the permanent, it will check if it's a creature. So it will never not be a -3 creature when it's crewed. Hey, and speaking of vehicles that are boats and are totally crewed, the Booty Cruiser. Okay, I'm over it. Next up, we got the Icebreaker Kraken. It is a 12 cost 8/8 Kraken, but of course they're going to reduce it. It costs 1 colorless less to cast, or 1 generic, whatever. Shut up, who cares? Nobody cares. For each snow land you control. Great. It's still snow land and not snow permanent though, so you'd have to have, I mean, even 7 of them out there, you get it out for 5. So I guess 6 would be the break-even point where it would cost 6 and you'd have 6. So let's cut the crap. This is a 6 cost Kraken that's an 8/8. And then when it enters the battlefield, artifacts and creatures target opponent controls don't untap during that player's next untap step. Very, very effective thing there. And return 3 snow lands you control to their owner's hand. Return Icebreaker Kraken to its owner's hand. But not from the graveyard, though. We've actually had an effect almost identical to this on another card. People didn't tend to play it, but I don't know. I mean, just one more thing for the snow deck. I'd probably throw one in. A lot of the deck archetypes that they're clearly painting for us are kind of you know, you don't know till you play with it. You don't know till you get it together and get it in your hands, you know. Next up, we've got Mistwalker, which is apparently Marchabroom. I don't know French. This is a changeling. Great. Flying. Great. 1/1, or no, they translated the 1/4 as 1/1. You don't even need to translate that. God, I've seen some screwed up translations on mythickspoiler.com, but that one really takes the cake. But then again, have you seen the Portuguese D&D books? So you pay 2, Mistwalker gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Oh wait, they mistranslated that too. It's +1 -1. That's a big difference. Otherwise, that was like blue 75% fire breathing, which would be kind of broken. So it's kind of like, what is that, the Weirdling ability, where you +1 -1? So yeah, you pay enough mana, this thing will really slap your mother. I don't think it's a very good card, honestly. Next up, we've got Quitter la Royaume, which is, I assume, the number 3 breakfast combo named after France, quitting every single war they've ever been in. So apparently this is deviating the realm. I doubt it. And you pay 2, it's a blue instant, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and then for some reason foretell 2 if you really want to waste your mana. Yeah, that's what the game needed. In addition to Brazen Borrower, we also needed a foretell 1 bounce back to hand. Thanks. Next up, Vengeful Reaper, 4 cost 2/3 Angel Cleric, Flying Death Touch Haste, nice, foretell 2, nice. That's solid. I mean, 4's up there, but Angels are up there and so are Giants, so you know, it's one of those we'll see things. You know I intended that pun about giants, right? Anyway, next up we got Bind the Monster. It's an aura. It's 1 blue. Yay. When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature. It deals damage to you equal to its power. Ouch. And then enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. This is actually one of the most powerful blue pin down spells ever created in the history of the game, believe it or not. Like, a blue pin down may or may not affect abilities, usually 3 mana. That's like the baseline. Then you got stuff like, you know, Singing Bell Strike, where there might be an out somehow to it. And that costs 2 mana. Then you got this where it's just like, yeah, you're going to get hit, but like, you're probably going to get hit if you leave the creature not pinned down. And then, yeah, it is basically not in play for 1. So, damn. Even the 1-cost blue common auras are pushed in this set. Wonderful. I don't know much about Vintage or Legacy, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this there in some deck. And finally, we have Elven Bow, which I'd try to explain what the hell happened here, but this was spoiled by Zolo Mariduena on Instagram, and when I click to get the source, it says log into Instagram. I don't have an Instagram account because I'm not a so I don't know what the hell happened here, but what I do know is that this person should not get another spoiler. They could have called this entire set You Had One Job because of so many people flushing the card down the toilet, taking a picture of it, and then sending it up at like 50 pixel resolution on their AOL chat group. And then that's how we get to see the card. I mean, how dumb is this person? Anyway, Elven Bow here is a 1-cost green equipment that when it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token, then attach Elven Bow to it. So another one of those, what do they call it? Like the germ equipments. I mean, that's what they really are. And then equipped creature gets +1/+2 and has reach, and then equip 3. So, I mean, you know, a little steep, kind of like the rest of these, but not bad. Start throwing runes on it and like, okay, but then boy, you got runes in your deck, you got equipment in your deck, and then you got like a smaller number of creatures. You're going to be a target for creature removal, and you're probably going to lose because of it. So that's what I'm worried about with the whole rune plus equipment thing. It's probably almost exclusively for the pre-release or for draft, where the amount of control is very not predetermined. Or, well, it is predetermined, just not by the player, and it's predetermined to be pretty damn low. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys next video, which thank God will not be more Kaldheim spoilers.
It started with just a chase. It was just a game.